Welcome, ladies, to the Real Estate Investor Show, providing inspiration, strategies, and insight to empower women investors to live balanced and financially free lives. Now, here are your co-hosts, Liz and Andresa.
Welcome back, ladies. This is Liz.
And this is Andresa.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Investor Show, where we're all about empowering women to live a financially free and balanced life. And you have joined us for our what, Andresa?
Minisode.
These are our quick, bottom line, 10-minute or less, depending on who's talking, sessions and episodes where we can share something coming up for us, something that we're learning, growing through, have evolved through, or just have some tips and tricks for you around real estate investing, business, or self-care, are three pillars that we hold very true to our community, our Strive members, our EXP team, every team and community that we're building worldwide right now, which is very exciting. We hold these three pillars as our kind of core pillars. So we teach from that and we hold one another accountable to those things. So Andresa, what are we talking about today?
Burnout.
Burnout. Everyone could just stop the recording right now.
Yeah. And as per title of this minisode, if you don't take a break, your body will. And I'm going to share my burnout experience. All right, Liz. So one of our pillars, as you mentioned, is self-care, right? And we are always evolving, like self-care to Andresa 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, last week looked very different than me right now. And people say, oh, I don't want to change. Well, I want to evolve. Let's say that I want to evolve as we grow. And I had a experience, not bad nor good, but an experience, right? Last week about burned out. I was having migraines for 2 days in a row. And for me to cancel meetings, to cancel podcast recordings. And I was so looking forward to interview a couple of the women, and I had to cancel it. I was in really pain. The meds were not working, so I ended up going to the ER. So what came out of it is what I would like to talk to you guys about. But before I get into that, I want to talk about two myths about burned out. The number one is that burned out only happens when there's a sequence of bad events, or you are in a super stressful situation and all of a sudden, boom, it happens. The other thing is that you really don't need to have a stressful situation for that to happen. So it's not just a sequence of events or a emotional state that is happening. So the reason why I'm saying this to you is that my situation happened after beautiful and good things that were happening in my life. Liz and I had an amazing time at the spa, the Four Seasons. We were relaxing. It was wonderful. We had a wonderful time there. I went on vacation with my family for an entire week, disconnected of everything. So I came out of that. Our business is growing. We have great opportunities and great things in the horizon. After all of that, that's when that happened. And so it's accumulation of things that happen throughout and our bodies, right? The reset button and how can I look at it? So here's what came out of that situation. And I encourage you, if you are experiencing burned out, here are the three things that you can look for yourself. Number one, are you the thinker? Or what are you thinking, right? There are a couple of things that we need to look into our business and our lifestyle that needs to be addressed. So in my personal life, I'll start with the personal life. Personal life, what I have done is that I start looking more living activities. And what do I mean by that? We always plan activities for our children, right, Liz? We take
the revolving door. Yeah.
Revolving door. So we planned that and I have found that I didn't have activities for myself that I really enjoyed too. I was looking for a personal trainer, but I couldn't connect with somebody. So I look at a small gym boutique close by, and I found somebody that I'm going to be working with. And I started looking at what else will bring joy to my life. I started really looking into decorating my house, which I really enjoyed. And I didn't understand much, but apparently a chair brings me a lot of joy, the right chair.
Wow.
It arrived and I was so happy. That chair, it was like a piece of me, kind of. I identified with the freaking chair. I said, Lorenzo is going to have this chair for generations to come. This is going to be a piece. Needless to say, I loved the chair.
What color was the chair? I have to ask.
So it has some touches of blue and like cane. So it's all handmade. So it has some character there and it's just bold. I'm thinking about the wallpaper. Needless to say, I delayed it a lot into spending time decorating my house, which I found out that I enjoyed. I found out at the spa that I didn't hate massages. No, I hated bad massages.
Yeah.
Right? Because I like Four Seasons massages. Yes. Give it to me. Yep. Yeah, I like that. So the bottom line here with the person is that I'm rediscovering myself in that process, what I really like and dislike and what I would like to spend more time with. Liz and I are planning per quarter, spend fun time together. How does that look like? And we have a goal of doing activities that we never done before. So we can succeed or fail together. But going back to the business list, we went into action, right? So let me get back to you guys that are listening right now. 3 things that I did after my burned out situation. Number 1 thing is that I looked at the current structure of the business. Number 2, I fire myself. And number 3, I enroll my team. So let's look at this, the structure that I have right now. I'm talking about my behavior, my choices, how I protect my time. And I encourage you to look into it. Where is your time going? Is it your core genius or not? If it is not, it should be out. Second thing is like firing yourself. And we all have 6 months plan, a year plan, 2-year, 5-year plan. Mine was like now, like this week, no time. I had to fire myself from several things and implement things like, listen, I'll give you a very specific example of what I've done, right? We work with 2 different international companies, one in Australia, another one in Canada, that we did not have them, the payment for them, we did not have them under our current system. So that process had to be done manually. And our bookkeeper is only liable and responsible for doing things under our system. So who was doing those 2 things? Me. And I said, this is not working. Got into a call with our bookkeeper and said, I need to understand if our system expanded to Canada and Australia and if that works there too or not. It's like, it's funny that you're saying this because yes, they expanded and now they're in Australia.
Funny.
Now it's just a matter of enrolling those companies to join in. I already pulled the trigger with them. And then the Lauren, she's very sweet. And she said to me, but how about if they don't want to? Or they can, they just have their own system and say, Lauren, that is my job to enroll them. And if they don't want to, unfortunately, we need to stop working with them.
Yeah.
It's like, what? It's like, yeah, you know why? I was in the hospital. And then, and it wasn't because of those 2 companies, right? It was because of that, and the list goes on and on. So I fired myself from that position that was automated. And the 2 companies was like, no problem. Let's enroll it. Done, gone. Everything's there. So I want you to look at and fire yourself for a couple of positions immediately. And I don't want you to plan in 6 months from now. And the third thing is really the team, right? I cannot do it by myself. Liz is on the boat with me, and the team is also there. So everybody is looking into it and saying, how can we stand for each other? You cannot burnout does not happen by yourself. There's contributions. There are people around that are either contributing or standing for you. And my team stands for me for that not happen. And as I stand for them. So as you grow and you scale your company, you have to have thinkers, not doers, around you only, that will really support you, will take things from your plate, will stand for you, will say no to you. I have a bunch of people say, hell no. Right, Liz? You say a bunch of no to me. I don't think that's your core genius. That's Liz' kind of way to say, get the hell out.
Yeah.
Right? So we went through that this week, and a lot of changes, a lot of conversations happen for us to restructure. And we had a lot of sense of urgency on doing things and firing myself that were implemented this week. So what came out of that for you, Liz?
It's huge.
Your side.
What you're saying, I think, is so powerful. And I think so often we expect people to read our minds, right? We're all walking around as these very strong women, and we expect everyone just to, read our minds that we need, for them to stand for us in X, Y, and Z. So I think the key is going within. So then you can go without, right? You can go within to say, Andresa did some soul searching on her own. She had to do that to prevent future burnout. And then she enrolled her team, and we had conversations, and I'm having conversations with her where I should not be anymore. And it's like this ongoing kind of collaboration, but no one's going to know what you know. And we can't expect others to read our minds. And I don't think we should, and, even go there. So, but we have to express and not feel alone on figuring it all out ourselves, because you're not going to figure it out all yourselves. Here's what's coming up for me. Here's what's not working, and let's explore more. So that's what's coming up for me as you were talking.
Awesome. I think that as I think about, one of the biggest mistakes that entrepreneurs make when scaling is to do not have the discipline. And here's what I mean by it. They have different tools, SOPs and teams, but they don't have the discipline to fire themselves from their positions. And that is the key to scale. If you want to scale, you got to fire yourself from your position. And don't look back. Of course, you have a team in place to do that, but the discipline to do not fall into the trap, into doing the same patterns as before, is really huge. And that takes a lot of courage. That takes a lot of enrollment with the team. But this is it for you. If I were to say, what is the number one thing for you to succeed and to scale your business, is discipline.
Love it.
And that's what we're doing, right? Day in, day out.
And it's baby steps, right? Burnout doesn't happen overnight. So be mindful. Spend that time by yourself, reflecting, and do those 3 steps. So with that, thank you for joining us for another Minisode. We'll see you soon. And until then.
Ciao.
If you enjoyed this podcast and want to receive updates on our next interviews, go to our website, therealestateinvestor.com. There, you can subscribe to our show, become part of our investor community, and get updates on upcoming episodes.
If you like our show, please share it with other women who would benefit. And don't forget to leave us a rating on iTunes. We'd really appreciate it. And as always, we encourage you to take one action as a result of today's show and put it into motion so you can live both a financially free and balanced life. Thanks for spending time with us.
Ciao.